Hello, I'm Dr. L. Iberty,
And I'm Sydney Applebottom.
and you're watching The Daily Squeeze. So,
I'm pretty sure all of you guys have already seen this show, but if you haven't, you're a new watcher, and pretty much what we do is take your everyday topics that people usually fight about, and we pick a side and fight it. So what are we going to be seeing today?
Well, let me grab out of the special list.
Ooh.
Oh, today's topic is whether or not the drinking age should be lowered to 18 or not.
And you know, I actually just read an article on that, and
Really?
of course I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm pretty sure it should stay at 21.
See, I actually think that it should be at 18.
And you're a professor.
Yes, I am. Actually, I'm a doctor. I got a doctorate.
Oh. So why do you want to keep the drinking age or lower it to 18?
Because I work at a college, you see, and I've noticed that my students, who are freshmen and sophomores, come to class hungover, or they don't come at all because the night before they were binge drinking.
Binge drinking on your campus legally? Illegally?
Illegal. They go out and they do it a lot worse than what they would do it if it was not illegal.
Teenagers, adults, whatever you want to call them, under the age of 21 should not be drinking because it's illegal. When those kids get all drunk at those parties and binge drink behind the closed doors, and they either stay at their dorm or drive.
Well, you see, if the drinking age is lowered, then they wouldn't feel the need to binge drink.
So there would be no consequence for their actions.
Correct, because it wouldn't be wrong.
I see. Now, as you see here, we have a graph, and this graph shows the percent of people driving under the influence in the past year. In 2002, it's at 14.2%. And then we go all the way from 2002, it starts lowering, and then that right there is the final result. In 2011, there's only 11.1. That's a pretty big difference.
Applebottom, that was a very insightful graph.
Yes.
But, you know, if the drinkers that are underage now weren't underage, and they wouldn't drive, because whenever they do drive, it's because they're in fear of being caught.
I just think that it would be a lot safer if they weren't to be drinking at all. But I see you have something right there. What is that? That picture.
Drinking age at 21 years. Drinking age at 18 years.
Now, that was a pretty nice political cartoon that you got there, but, you know, I really think that it's a little bit inaccurate because the people at 21 seem to look the same as the people at 18. And we all know you don't look the same when you're 21, when you're 18. When they're 21, they have more maturity.
Well, as a professor, I have noticed that since I teach my freshman and sophomore students, they're not 21, but they're in college. Before the 21 law was at 26%, but afterwards it was 28% because they don't want to go to class and be hungover or drunk or after a late night because they didn't have the safe feeling. That's a 2% rise. Might not seem like much, but it really is.
I read on this website, chicagotribune.com, that there would be lethal and unwise for college professors such like you to put the liability of the drinking in the hands of immature 18-year-olds. The schools really shouldn't be focusing on whether their kids can get drunk safely or not, but should focus more on the fact that they need to be putting their energy into education, and whether they like it or not, all of the states in the United States have the 21 law.
Well, yes, college students are under 21. They're at a 22% chance of being heavy drinkers because they binge drink, whereas the people that are 21 and up, they only have an 18% chance of being heavy drinkers. Mm-hmm.
Many people believe that school is a safe, clean environment where people should be learning and not worried about drinking on dorms. They're there to learn. You pay a lot of money to go to college, and it shouldn't be put towards things like parties and just so dangerous. Society today, I believe that they organize different rights with different responsibilities, mm-hmm. and with those responsibilities, they come with different ages. You're a legal adult at 18, but sometimes in some states you can't even rent a car until you're older than 21, mostly 21, but you can't rent a hotel until you're 21, and people just seem to accept those things. So why can't we accept the fact that something that will keep us safe is not going to change, and it needs to stay at 21?
Well, we do accept some of our restrictions. I mean, there are limits.
Right.
But you see, back in 1970, there was a limit. Do you know what it was?
Was it the limit on voting?
Yeah, actually it was. It was the 26th Amendment. The people, they felt like they were not getting enough liberty, and they wanted to be able to vote because they were adults, but they couldn't, and they revolted.
Now, I heard you say the word liberty. Now, I recognize that as one of our core democratic values. Is that correct?
Yeah, in fact it is. It is to promote one's freedom, and whenever your freedoms are infringed upon, then that is taking away your liberty.
I think that I would definitely use the core democratic value of justice. What it is in general is people want to be treated fairly and equally, and when something does happen, they want their wrongs to be corrected, and the people who want to drink have to sacrifice that when they keep the law at 21. Even though these people are sacrificing that, that is a small sacrifice to make if it's going to save thousands of lives every year. See, and I am one to believe in the freedom of one person. As Americans, we all have the right to our own freedom, but you have to think about the people on the other side. Kids these days don't understand that rights are there, but there are certain things that you do to keep them safe, to keep yourself safe, because everybody chooses to drink and drive. Mm-hmm. And not drinking and driving and drinking in general until you're old enough to take it maturely, that's something that really captures the real essence of the 21 law.
Yes, definitely.
You know, we've been talking about this topic for a while, and it kind of makes me wonder, what is the current law on drinking?
Well, currently the law is that you cannot blow any sort of number on the breathalyzer test.
Isn't the law also that you can legally drink under the age of 21, but only with parental supervision?
Yes, that is true, but it's only in some states.
Oh, and the people who want to drink have to sacrifice that when they keep the law at 21. Even though these people are sacrificing that, that is a small sacrifice to make if it's going to save thousands of lives every year. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today's conversation. We've put in our points and made a valid discussion out of it, but thanks for watching, and everybody
drive safe.
Drive safe, yes. And As always, stay happy, and thanks for watching the Daily
Squeeze.